Oh, goodness. Another day, another book haul, another cup of coffee, and another exciting box of books that I can't wait to show you guys. Welcome to the channel. I'm Dad Like Book. If you're new here, I cover vintage science fiction and fantasy. We talk about it all day long. And if you're not new here, which most of you probably have been around for a little bit, I like to show off old books, and that's what we're doing today. We're going to start off with a couple of Amazon orders. I know you guys are horrified to hear that, but just wait. They are good Amazon orders, don't worry. First up is my friend Sam over at Barely Human published his debut novel, I have a hard time saying that. Forbidden Anesthesia. This is a paperback of it. He was gracious enough to send me a copy, and I have started it, as you can see, and I'm excited to keep reading. Sam, congratulations on your novel. Yeah, go order yourself a copy. I will link it down below. I'll link Sam's channel down below too. But yeah, excited for you, man. And in that same vein, I finally got a copy of Weird Frequencies. I don't order things online very much, and so to get a paperback online is just something I don't really do very often, unless it's Whatnot or eBay. And so I finally, when I ordered Sam's book, was like, I need to get myself a copy of Weird Frequencies. And so all these good friends on BookTube put together short stories, if you're not familiar, and there's some really cool stuff in here. I'm pumped to read this. The sequel, which I am graciously featured in. That sounded like I was saying. I'm thankful to be featured in the sequel with a short story that I wrote myself. And so I'm really pumped for that. That's coming out soon-ish. And follow Jake over at Pulp Mortem for updates. He's our editor, Jay Swick here. That's the man over there. We love you, Jake. All right. With those two important books out of the way, we will get to some other stuff that I found randomly at thrift stores, bookstores, and the like. There's a ton of autograph stuff in here, and I'm really pumped. I didn't pay autograph prices for like any of these. Found a lot of the autograph stuff at a bookstore called Prospero's, which I'm going to link some like footage of, kind of walking around in there, shopping around and stuff. It's a great local bookstore here in Kansas City. And then I found some other autograph stuff at some half-price books around the area, which I like less than Prospero's, but half price always delivers in the sense that they always have volume. So sometimes you can comb through the piles and you can find stuff like this. In the Beginning, Tales from the Pulp Era, Robert Silverberg, but it is a special hardcover edition that is signed by Mr. Silverberg there, as you can see. I don't know where these are at in frame. Perfect. Yeah. So this is number 289 out of 1,000, which is pretty cool. And yeah, that was like $7. Would have been a lot more if they realized that it was autographed. Same with this. This is called Expiration Date by Tim Powers, a book I'm not really familiar with, but is a first edition hardback, and it is signed upside down by Tim. I was looking at the signature, like comparing it to some other signed copies on eBay, and I was like, that doesn't seem like it's Tim Powers. And all of a sudden I went, oh. So I'm glad I I picked that up. That was also like $7. So those were really cool. Um, in the same half price books run, I just was combing through the anthologies as one does, and I found this little nifty guy called the Survival of Freedom, edited by Jerry Purnell, John F. Carr. I open it up, and it is also signed by 3 of the authors in here. We have Jerry Purnell's signature up at the top. We have Poul Anderson next, and we have Robert A. Heinlein after that. I don't see Heinlein stuff signed very often. Jay Mustang told me in the Discord when I posted this, he was like, "That's a pretty cool grab. Like, they just don't, you don't see that very often." So this is now a prized possession of mine, just for the sake that there's probably no other book like it. So really cool find. I found it for $1.25. They don't always comb through their paperback section, so tip for you: if you're at half price books, just take random books sometimes, flip them open to the front page, see if they're signed. A lot of them will be, as you will see here soon. What else did I find? I found this was $3. Is a early printing of Childhood's End, which I thought was really cool. It's in okay shape. There's a tear on the front cover, but it's a 7th printing, 1966. It'll replace my more modern edition, and just be a cool collectible. I found that for a couple bucks. Yeah, like I said, $3. This John Shirley Eclipse Penumbra was $1 or $2. In okay shape. I'm starting to find that I really want to read John Shirley. Just learning more about his cyberpunk roots and things like that. He has very much flown up the TBR. This is a cool UK H.P. Lovecraft and Others, Tales of the Cthulhu Mythos, edited by August Derleth. Tons of great names in here. Lovecraft, Robert Bloch, August Derleth, Ramsey Campbell, Brian Lumley, Robert E. Howard, Henry Kuttner, Clarke Ashton Smith. The names go on, and the cover and UKs are just awesome. So there was that. Let's just, I don't know what to show you next. Here is another half price books find. Poul Anderson, The Boat of a Million Years, big chunker it's in fine, not fine shape, but okay shape. And it is inscribed to Cheryl from Poul. Poul. I say Poul, but have you ever met anybody named Poul? Sorry to those out there that are named Poul, but it's a unique name. Anyway, signed again from half price books. Like, it was like $3. It was so cool to like find a couple of these, and then just like the dopamine started hitting, and I just kept looking. I kept finding. This one, where did I get these from? I don't even know. This is No Boundaries from Henry Kuttner and C.L. Moore, an old 35-cent Valentine. I've grown attached to these, even though they are generally not in the best of shape and they kind of come apart easy. But they, for some reason, these just, I mean, a lot of them are like, really beautiful, like Powers covers and stuff. This is an ace double from Leigh Brackett, The Secret of Sinharat and The People of the Talisman, in really good shape, honestly. So, like, seriously, almost all the books in here were between $1 and like $5. Unless I say otherwise, they were really cheap, and that it just, the dopamine hits even more when you're hauling books and you're excited to go hunting and you find stuff for next to nothing. I think I said that in the last book haul I did, but whatever. This is Brian and Ball's The Regiments of Night, jaw number 19. I didn't have this one before, and that's a really cool cover. And now it is mine. This I got purely because it just looks weird as heck, and I've never heard of it. But these Lawless words, number 1 of The Love Machine from Pinnacle. I don't think there's anything to this book, but it looks insane. The back, long-legged, luscious Alaria Pharrell is the only judge west of Pleiades. Yes, we know there's no west in space. Weird, pulpy, probably super violent and sexual or something, but anyway, silly. Here's a super cool one. This is like a trade paperback with illustrations of The Changeling by Zelazny. The card, not card stock, but paper stock that they used feels like card stock. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do this justice, but there's a full wraparound cover. It's in pretty good shape. And I'll see if I can flip through it good enough. But there are illustrations peppered throughout here. And they're black and white, but it's so cool. And this would be such an easy reader copy. So I might end up just reading that just for the sake of it's just cool. I ordered on Whatnot. I can't remember what seller it was, but I had been looking for The Broken Sword after Jonathan over at Stringer Than Fiction. I might also know him as J Mustang. He recommended, I think he did a video on Broken Sword, and I just really wanted it. So I found an old, not old, but I guess it is old. I found a Del Rey, a Ballantine Adult Fantasy impersonator, but it's a third printing, and it'll do for a reader copy for now until I can someday find the true Bath. A huge freaking box here. We got to keep going. This is George Zebrowski's Ashes and Stars that I also picked up and thought, oh, what do you know? Signed again. Or I guess inscribed, technically. This copy of Bod's book, this copy of book 1 for Deanne, George Zebrowski. So that's cool. I haven't read George Zebrowski, but that was pretty neat. Chrysalis 8 with a great lineup. Lafferty, Tanith Lee, Malsberg is in here. I now have Chrysalis 1, 6, and 8 with this. It's a Zebra anthology, and I think these are pretty cool. So, yeah. I just love anthologies. I'm such a nerd about them. Ordered a couple books from my friend Jordan on Whatnot. I think they'll be peppered around in here somewhere, but this is Last Hurrah of the Golden Horde, my now reader copy for sure, but I actually used it just this week to read a Spinrad story for Battle of the Shorts, a series I do here on the channel. This is something called Chrono Sequence by Hilbert Schenk. I don't really know what this is, but it's nice and clean. What else did I got some other stuff from Jordan. Let's show that off really quick. I was at the lake and we were celebrating with some friends, just hanging out, and we had kind of finished the weekend and I was chilling, and that's when Whatnot gets you, laying in bed or laying on the couch. And so I got Hard Landing by Aldous Budrys in the, this is a book club, but it's in flawless condition. So that was pretty neat. I don't know where to put these now. I got the Book of Scathe by Leigh Brackett, which is the book club edition omnibus of three of her books: The Ginger Star, The Hounds of Scathe, and The Reavers of Scathe. That was pretty cool. And then I was sitting there by accident, phone was in my pocket, didn't realize that I hadn't shut the screen off, and I ordered Planet of Arms by Donald Barr from Jordan for $25, and I was like, I didn't mean to order that. But I love supporting my friends on Whatnot and YouTube, so I just told him, go ahead with it, man. So I now have another copy of that, which I sold a few months ago. Wolfhead by Charles L. Harness. I think I got this purely because I thought the cover was cool. I don't know anything about it. Pretty neat. I found this thrifting for $2. A flawless book club edition of the Earthsea trilogy by Ursula K. Le Guin. Very nice condition. It has nothing wrong with it. And this is a First Science Fiction Book Club science fiction printing, April 2005. That's a mouthful. So cool. So freaking cool. Usually when you thrift, you just don't find stuff like that in good condition, as most of you guys probably know. I don't really know where I got some of these, so we're just going to keep going. CM Kornbluth's Takeoff. Really, really old. Pennant books. This is like, I don't know what this is. A novel of the first moon rocket. So technically science fiction. This is super old. First printing, 1953. Wow. Technically not the first printing of paperback, but that's a 75-year-old book that has survived. Great lunar science fiction. Men on the Moon, edited by Donald Walheim. The Doll Man. Who's in here? Not very many. Oh, well, there's a cool section of comments by science fiction writers that's got a lot of really good names. Philip K. Dick, K.M. O'Donnell, Bob Shaw, Bradbury. Yeah, Joanna Russ. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. It's an interesting anthology. I'm just picking up stuff. I don't know. Yeah. Microcosmic God, edited by Sam Moskowitz. Got a lot of Sams today. My dog Sam sitting over there. My buddy Sam published Forbidden Anesthesia, the first book. Now this one. The Red Magician by Lisa Goldstein. I love a good timescape. I really do. Don't know anything about this. It's a first pocket timescape, and that makes me happy. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. And I tend to like do things too slow in some of these videos, and then I realize I've been going too slow, and then I rush too fast. So I'm going to try to just take these and have fun with it. It's already getting very hot and humid out here, so I don't want to leave my books out here too long, but we'll keep on chugging. There's some, I'm telling you, there's some autographs in here you're going to want to keep watching for if you like this sort of thing. Because yeah, I really, let's just do another one of those. CJ Cherry's Shanure's Homecoming, another one of these half-price books situations where I just happened to look at the front and see that it was signed. Michael Whelan cover art. It's in okay shape, but like it was like $3 or $4. Again, it's just, you know, such a neat thing to find at like especially at a bookshop when normally they go through their books and they would price something like that up, I would think. So, but maybe not. I don't know. A paperback, especially inscribed like some of those have been. I don't know. I don't know how to evaluate. Is that right? The right word? I don't know how to evaluate or evaluate financially how much those should cost. But anyway, I've covered this book on the channel. This book is awesome. The Dream Master by Roger Zelazny. If you can find a copy of this, please do. I found this for just a couple bucks too. Normally goes for a little bit more, but it's such a good book. It's one of Zelazny's best. It really is. Here's the novelization of Alien. I finally found a nice copy of that. Alan Dean Foster. I'm sure we've all probably seen that movie. Might end up getting read at some point. This is a first, 1979. Just love that movie. One of my favorites of all time. This was another thrifted book, Amy Girl by Barry Wood, a Onyx horror, I think. Yeah, I don't know much about this one, but it's in really good shape. Unbroken spine, clean. Another thrifted. I couldn't believe I found this at a thrift store too. Usually just don't find stuff like this at thrift stores. The one lone book I got from this specific thrift store, but Jack Vance's Whist, Alistor 1716. Another DAW. And it's in okay shape. Not great, not bad, but there's still some vibrant yellow going on the spine, which is really all that matters with DAWs, in my opinion. Couple more horrors here. These are cool vintage ones that I think are worth a little bit. This is Evil Eye by Aaron Ely. Sick, twisted cover. I'm not super into horror, but I've begun to kind of collect them as I find them on, on my most of the time on my thrift journeys when I find stuff. My thrift journeys. What am I saying? This is, I think, a first from 1989, so in good shape. A pretty clean spine, a little bit of wear on the spine, and then I gotta let my dog in. This is The Devil's Laughter by William W. Johnstone. That's creepy. Probably came out after it. I was trying to capitalize on the Stephen King craze. All right, we still have a decent amount more to go, but we're making our dent in this. Here's a super beat up copy of Necroscope, a book that I didn't have because it's just not super common, by Brian Lumley, but it is a first, and it was pretty cheap. And this is, like I said, not super common, so for a couple bucks, like, that's not too bad in my opinion. Let's see, let's put that down there. Found a copy of Frontera. I have this book. I found a really clean copy at a library sale. But again, when you find books that are pretty uncommon for just a couple bucks, like, I grab them because I've been selling a little bit on Whatnot and eBay. But generally, it's just, I don't know. If you find stuff and you know the price of it and it's cheaper, why not? What should I go with next? This is one of the TOR doubles. C.L. Moore's Vintage Season and Robert Silverberg's In Another Country. I have started to collect these TOR doubles. Probably shouldn't. The first from 90. I shouldn't collect those, but everybody says that, and then they start collecting them. Just like the DAWs, you just kind of just do it. Just do it. This is a really clean Pinnacle one. I watched Ron over at Sci-Fi PBS kind of explain these when he had them on auction one time, but I don't think there's very many of them in this livery. And this is Caduceus Wild by Ward Moore. He mentioned something about kind of a gold edition. There was a couple maybe that had silver on them. I'm not 100% sure. So Ron, if you're watching this for any reason, you might be able to educate us Neanderthals who don't know as much as you do about sci-fi in the comments. If you're not watching, I don't know. Go ask Ron in his Whatnot auctions about those, if you're curious. This is a UK of the Dream. No, I was going to say the Dream Master. The Dragon Masters. A pretty cool cover, I would say, from Mr. Jack Vance. A Mayflower. Pretty neat. Oh, Australia. Wait, maybe not. I think this is a UK. This is called The Return of the Time Machine, DAW number 22 by Egon Friedel. Another DAW that I didn't have. Slowly making my way. Finishing that collection. And when I say slowly, I mean slowly. I have completely run out of space on my shelf for DAWs. I don't know what I'm going to do with those. Another one of these Pinnacles. Weeping May Tarry by Raymond F. Jones and Lester Del Rey. Very nice shape. Really cool cover. Looks like some priests in space. What is this? Oh, another TOR double. Barry Longyear, Enemy Mine, and John Kessel, Another Orphan. I mean, this cover is sick. Yeah, I think this is a first. It is. It is. 89. I'm gonna wait to do the one that's sitting in front of me because it's freaking sick, and I want to just hold off a little bit longer. This is sick. This is, I guess I kind of got to go through no, I'll go through the autographed ones here in just a second, because there's some banger autographed ones. This is Aliens, Original Sin by Michael Jan Friedman. Pretty sure. Where did I get this from? I was about to say I got this from Book Report, but that was in my last book haul. I got an Aliens book from Brandon. I don't know, but this is super clean. I collect Aliens books when I can get them in nice condition. I don't know why. I love Aliens. I just haven't read any of them, but I will. Here we go. Here starts the bangers. Samuel R. Delany's Ballad of Beta 2, signed by Delany, 2004. It's not in good condition. I don't know what kind of person, excuse me for this, what kind of person gets a book signed, unless this was already the condition it was in, and just reads it and like lets the spine bend like that. What are we doing? Anyway, yeah, signed by Delany, a book that I will probably never come across again. Score. That was like $3 or $4. These are both signed. I'll show them in just a second. But Wilson Tucker, 2 Wilson Tuckers that I found signed at Prospero's Books. I might have footage that I'm going to show. We'll see. I took it on my phone, but we'll see. Yeah, let me open it up. For Kate, My Best, Wilson Tucker, 1991. There was like a whole stack of signed Wilson Tuckers, and what was so weird to me was some of them were marked signed and like priced at like $20. Some of them, like this one, were not, and they were marked at like $3, including this one again for Kate, Wilson Tucker. These I think are like, I don't think these are sci-fi. I think these are like, like thriller or something. Wild Talent with like a George Clooney cover and a Procession of the Damned. I haven't really read much on these, but yeah, couple bucks a piece. I was so stoked about that. And then we have the book of Gordon R. Dixon, thought number 55, and it's signed up top. They just wouldn't stop. I've been an absolute magnet for signed books lately, and I don't know if it's me or if it's the bookstores or if I just figured out how to look for them. I'm probably just getting lucky. It's a first print. It was signed in 75 to Kate. So Kate had a collection at Prospero's with a lot of signed books. And I got at least 3 of them right there. Probably 4 if the Delany was signed to Kate. Let's see. It was in Washington, D.C. It doesn't say to Kate, but it does say the date. That rhymed. Let's just keep going. Brothers of the Dragon by Robin Wayne Bailey. Signed again. Can you believe it? The other day I was looking at my shelf and I have a Robin Bailey signed copy of a book. And so every time I go to a bookstore and I see her books, I just happen to pop them open. Several more were signed by Robin Bailey. So he or she must have signed her books often. I say her. Robin's a woman's name, I think. Let's just keep the train rolling. That's a Roger Zelazny signed Changing Land. The dopamine rush when I look at some of these. It's so cool. This was like $2. Makes me so pumped that I found a treasure chest several times at some of these places. This isn't the last signed book, but this probably is the coolest signed book I have. Either that or the Delany or one that I'm forgetting. I don't know. But no, the coolest signed book I have is that anthology I showed you at the beginning. 3 different authors signed that thing. That's so cool. But this, Harlan Ellison, Partners in Wonder. I got it at half price. Signed. It was $6. They didn't price it like it was signed. I've seen Harlan Ellison's at half price go between $5 and $10 just normally. And I just couldn't freaking believe it. I was so excited. I was shaking the book. I remember, I'll probably put video footage right here, but I was shaking the book. I was so pumped. Here's a really, really nice DAW of Elric at the End of Time, the 7th book in the Elric saga. That great cover, Great spine. Really clean text block. Wow. First DAW printing, 1985. DAW number 627. Pretty sick. Sorry, my dad just walked by. Another pinnacle. I didn't realize that I had a pinnacle of this, but this is Beat the Heck. This is Triax. Pretty awesome lineup here, edited by Robert Silverberg. It's got 3 novellas from James Gunn, Keith Roberts, and Jack Vance. First printing 1977. I guess I'm still going strong with these pinnacle books. What else do we got here? I think I bought this one specifically for the cover alone, but I did see this in an auction just the other night. I think it was Jordan who said that Octavia Butler's first story was in Clarion I, but this is Clarion II. At this point, I'm just like having random side tangents with myself. Tons of great writers in this. Where did the table of contents go? Where did it go? Le Guin, Effinger, Wilhelm, Ellison, Glenn Cook, Joanna Russ, Effinger again. Sick cover. Absolutely awesome cover. Another signed book, I think. This is Dragon's Queen by Carol L. Dennis. I'll show you the cover first. In nice, clean shape. To Sharon, who manages Drew's bookstore so well. Boom. Thank you, Sharon, for passing along this autographed Carol Dennis for me. And for Drew's bookstore, I should say, probably too. I did show it, didn't I? Yeah, I showed it. I'm reaching the end of my sanity at when I do these book hauls, and I just, especially here, when I choose for some reason to do them outside, it's so refreshing to be outside. Usually it's like a swamp out here. But I hope you're enjoying. Terry Carr, number 2, the best science fiction of the year. I love all these Terry Carrs. They are never, they never disappoint. They always have good names, always have good stories. Lafferty, Poul Anderson, Alexi Panshin, C.M. Kornbluth, Joanna Russ, Silverberg, Gene Wolfe, Tiptree. Bangers. Just a bunch of bangers. The 5th head of Cerberus is in here. Nice. Let's go. I don't think I had. I might have that story somewhere. I probably do. But yeah, anthologies are really some of my favorites, and especially now that I've been doing Battle of the Shorts. Check out on my channel if you haven't seen that series. If you'd like to see me cover just a bunch of random short stories, by the time I'm done with the series, I'm gonna have read 100 short stories by 100 different authors. And the goal is just to really shine a light on authors who you may not have heard yet, cast a wide net, and I go through a ton of my anthologies. Excuse me, I'm kind of like my coffee's coming back up. That's gross. Okay. Robert Silverberg, Tom O'Bedlam, Jabba the Hutt cover. And don't know if I had this book. And I have all the Silverbergs, I think. First printing, 1986. Bada bing, bada boom. I don't know anything about this book. Silverberg wrote a lot of books. He really did. I was absolutely stoked to find this. It's not in the best of shape. There's a lot of spine lean. But Sinners by Pat Cadigan, I found it for like $3 at a half price. It's a first. After I read the Cadigan, I keep talking about Battle of the Shorts, but after I read Cadigan's story in Mirror Shades, I have been looking for this because it is like it's not the sequel, but it's the story that she wrote after she wrote the short story. If you understand what I just said. All right, let's see what else is in here. Oh, yeah. Letters from Atlantis, Robert Silverberg. A first to Cheryl from Robert Silverberg. By the way, this is the culmination of, I don't know, 10 different runs to bookstores that I've just been kind of saving up since my last haul, where I would just randomly pop into one bookstore or two and just pour over stuff. Like, I just got lucky. I really think I got lucky. Oh my gosh, there's so many bangers in here. Look at this. I forgot all these were in this box. Let's freaking go. Best short stories of J.G. Ballard. This is an awesome hardback with the great picture right there, the great cover, and it's got the $12.95 up at the top. It is a first, and it is beautiful, and it is mine. Sorry to be Gollum here. These are my preciouses. Is preciouses plural? Can I say that? This is one of the strangest books I've ever seen, but The Tail That Wags the God by James Blish. If any of you know what this is, please tell me what it is, because I am not familiar. It is criticism, history, and bibliography of the science fiction field by James Blish. Bibliography by Judith Blish. Edited by C.Y. Chauvin. I just don't know what this is. I mean, I think it's like about Blish, and it's like about science fiction. Like, it's such a unique piece of history for the science fiction field. I've never seen this book before. So if you know what that is, please tell me. Thomas M. Dish's Triplicity. These are hard to find. Dish in general is just hard to find, but this is a book club edition. Echo Round His Bones, which I have. The Genocides, which I have. But the Puppies of Terra I did not have. And now I have them all in this very awesome Doubleday Omnibus. And last but not least, I maybe should save these for another video, but I'm going to do a bookstore highlight of one of my favorite bookstores in the area, Steele's Used Books. I've talked about them before. I'm going to show off the books, but probably do a separate video kind of showing you the shop and just doing a highlight of that shop, because I would really like to urge people to go there. He's got a treasure trove of great books. It's a wild experience because it's in the back of like a strip mall, unassuming looking bookshop that's got great stuff. And I'll show you right now what I found there. Every time I go there, I always have a good interaction with the owner, David. He's wonderful. It's David, right? Yeah. Sorry. Every time I go in there, I have a great interaction with the owner. He's a really cool guy, loves what he does, and yeah, there's some sick stuff in here. So let's go through. I think I paid $60 for this entire box. He said only $50, but I felt like $60 was more fair. Some of the stuff in here was really cool. I've never seen this before, and this is a Collier. Great science fiction about doctors. Groff Conklin and Noah Fabricant, MD, so it's a doctor. First edition, 1963. I don't know if, I'm assuming these are short stories that just happen to be about doctors, but Kornbluth's in here. Edgar Allan Poe's in here. Arthur C. Clarke, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, MD. Murray Leinster. There's just, and it's, you can hear that, can't you? The flop on that thing's crazy. I've just never seen that. That's a really cool book. I'm assuming that's relatively obscure, but so cool. Masters of Darkness. This is a horror anthology with some cool names in it. Edited by Dennis Etchison. I found a couple cool John Shirleys, like I was saying earlier, because I just kind of got put on to him and his cool work. This is Eclipse, a Quest Star. Pretty worn, but it's a first. Transmaniacon. Love this cover. I think this is a pretty obscure book. I have not seen it before. It's a Zebra. It was marked $12. He didn't charge me 12 for it. He was nice enough to just give me flat rates for all the paperbacks. including Disposable People, which I got a copy from Jay Mustang a while back, but I found this and I think I don't really see it all that often, so picked it up. I'm running out of steam, folks. We're almost done. Doris Pisercia's The Dimensioneers, a DAW I've not really seen before. DAW number 486. Awesome freaking cover. Look at that. Awesome cover. Please tell me it's not supposed to rain. I'll have enough time. Hospital Station by James White. I think this is the one that is pretty, not hard to find, but just like sought after. I kind of looked it up. This is a fourth printing, not 1980, but I haven't really seen any James White, but I saw and made a note of it kind of mentally in Nick's video over on the Book Graveyard. He did a really, really cool video with Paul Giamatti that I'm sure a lot of you guys probably came across at some point. But if you haven't, I'll link that down below. He interviewed famous actor Paul Giamatti about science fiction, and Paul was very adamant that people find and read James White. So I kind of took that to heart and thought, next time I see him, I'll try to find some of his stuff. So there you go. I found a copy of Dr. Adder by K.W. Jeter. This book's hard to find. This is the second time I've encountered it. The first signet from 1988, a book I really want to read and probably will read soon. But yeah, this will probably get passed on to somebody in a Whatnot auction. We'll see. The Song of Maven Many-Shaped by Sherry S. Tepper. I think this is a pretty hard to find Tepper. Could be wrong, but it's got a great cover. I've said that about like every book here, and mostly because he has such a huge bookshop there at Steele's. I had to make sure I didn't just pick up everything I wanted, because it's not like other bookstores where all the good stuff's been picked over. He's remained under the radar enough where, especially for science fiction, his science fiction section is enormous. And when I found it, a year or two ago, like I said, every time I go back, I always find something new. So he keeps that thing stocked. This is Breakthrough by Richard Cowper. Awesome cover. Look at that. I don't know anything about this book, but it is a first, 1969. It's got that more shiny bath kind of Valentine adult fantasy texture, which I like. I don't know anything about this either, but crazy cover. Half Past Human by T.J. Bass. Insanely weird cover with some men's butts. Not something I usually talk about. This was sick. I see this a lot on Whatnot. Not a lot. I've seen it a few times on Whatnot, and it usually goes for a decent amount. His Monkey Wife by John Collier. An absurdly weird looking book that I really want to read. One of the strangest love stories in all of fiction. Love that. Pocket edition, 1975. I think there's a hardback edition that's really rare. Here's the novelization of Tron by Brian Daley. First from 1982. Yeah, this is, I think, when the movie was just, the first one came out in the 80s and was awful, but kind of hilarious in the best way. Barrington J. Bailey's The Grand Wheel, another DAW that I didn't have. Got it in this kind of really old baggie. I'm going to have to get inside soon. It looks like it might storm. Yep, I just heard thunder. And that is not fireworks. That is thunder. Here's a Harlan Ellison and Dan and Jack C. Haldeman II tour double. That's a mouthful. This is Run for the Stars and Echoes of Thunder. A kind of faded tour double, but it still had a half price book sticker on it. So half price might have given it to Steele's. You never know. Last but not least, Drowned Tide by Sidney J. Van Sciyoc. Beat to heck, but a cool book nonetheless. Looks like some mermaid stuff going on. We'll see. And that's going to do it. I am really glad I was able to show you guys all these books and get this video recorded so I could shelve a lot of these. When I shouldn't ramble because there is rain coming, but when I do these book hauls, generally I will leave a big box in my room that's just sitting out in the open, kind of all the books that I plan to haul. And if the box gets too big, then it forces me to do these haul videos. And this time I kind of, I don't know, I'm glad I got all these books shown to you in a timely manner. Hopefully this video is probably a long video, but whatever. I hope you enjoy these haul videos. I certainly do. I think they're fun at the very least to throw on in the background at work, or just to kind of learn more about science fiction. They're like almost kind of like encyclopedia entries into kind of your like database in your head of sci-fi. If you're like me, maybe I'm just weird and nobody else is like this, but I think generally people who are interested in this kind of stuff feel similarly, that we all just have this weird database in our heads that when we see books, when we hear them talked about, they spark conversation, especially ones that haven't been talked about for years, haven't been seen for a long time, have zero coverage on BookTube or any other platform. It's the way we can keep a lot of these books kind of alive, because it would take me forever to read all these books. And that's not to say I don't read. I do book reviews on the channel, but it's a fun way to explore books and kind of be surrounded by literature when you can't necessarily go to a bookstore or go to the library or whatever. So I'm going to pack all these books back in the box, take them inside, get them shelved. But tune into Battle of the Shorts every Saturday at 9 a.m. for your short story picks. Keep an eye out for the new Weird Frequencies sequel. Go follow Jake over at Pulp Mortem if you want more info on that. And yeah, go buy Sam's book. Check down in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next video. That's an airplane up there. Squirrel. All right, see you guys.